Hey guys, long time no see. This is Carl Galler with Carl Galler Builds, and today I am coming to you with a new project. I did post some stuff on a vacation rental that we are slowly renovating. One of the things that I'm going to be doing today is taking this Live Edge Monkey Pod slab that we bought, gosh, 2.5 years ago for a completely different project. And I'm going to be making it into some floating shelves for the kitchen. But anyway, I think I'm going to try to cut a 10-inch, two 10-inch shelves and two 8-inch shelves. So the bottom shelves will be a little bit wider, the top shelves will be a little narrower, and I think it'll just be a nice look. So, with no further ado, wish me luck. Alrighty, so that's what I'm going to start to do is just try to figure out, kind of at least pick up a datum point of a somewhat of a straight line. I'm not going to cut this, I'm just want to use it so I can measure back from this line to kind of figure out the depth of each shelf. Since the crack is over here, I had mentioned I'm going to make an 8-inch shelf and a 10-inch shelf. So this side of the crack is closer to 10 inches. This side is closer to 8 inches. So I'm going to make my 8-inch shelf kind of from here. Pretty much 16 and a half. I'm just going to do this to give me kind of semi-parallel lines here so I can take some dimensions off it. And do any cutting, I'm going to measure this a bunch of times. 7 inches. So even though the center line is really splitting the difference here, so it's 8 inches, just a hair over 8 inches, which you would think looks symmetrical, but when you look at the board, the way it comes out over here, this board's going to appear wider than this board. Anyway, that's the look we're going for, so I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Well, you can see my absolute depth is still a good 1/4 of an inch shy of what I'm going to need, so I'll probably have to go down that with a Sawzall blade. But I'll do the initial rip and see how it goes. I need a respirator. This stuff is cutting real nice, but it is real fine dust, almost like masonite. So. Clearly I'm not a woodworker, and I've never worked with Monkey Pod before, but man, is it easy to cut. I mean, that is a massive, almost 3 inches slab here. And, it's not real heavy either, and it's got some beautiful grain. That's really neat. So this is going to go against the wall. So it's kind of screwed up over here. And I think in this case it'll just be a matter of adding character to the shelf. So here's this is the lower shelf. This will be the upper shelf. Cool. not a whole hell of a lot of prep. I'm gonna sand down this live edge. I like these wormholes here. I'm going to clean up this live edge, and I'm just gonna give it an overall cleanup, and then I'm gonna poly it. I'll maybe take a little bit of the sharp edge off of here with the rasp. But I love it. I love the look of it. So there's some guys that I follow on YouTube. One guy, I can't remember his first name, but it's Blacktail Studios. I mean, just a phenomenal woodworker. He's taken his woodworking hobby into a career. Got a lot of sponsors. He's just love the way he does his channel. That poor guy is probably cringing. Everything you're about to see, or everything you've seen up to this point and that you're about to see, he has not taught me because he does it the right way. But I'm just going to use 80 grit. I'm just going to clean this up. I'm really not, he'd do 80, 100, 160, and probably up to like, higher grits. Although he does say if you make it too fine, it has trouble absorbing anything. So anyway, I'm going to use 80 grit, clean it up, slap some poly on there, throw it in the kitchen. I'm sure it'll look great. It's not something I'm going to sell for $1,000. I'm doing it for myself. I think I'm going to work on that, play with that a little bit, grind it down. All right, that'll be my next step. Like this with a split in it. It's nice and smooth. Kind of follows the normal random contours here on this live edge. I'm just going to hit this really gently with that 80 grit, just to kind of knock it down a little bit. And love the wormholes, man. All right, got a first coat of the water-based polyurethane. Starting to bring out the colors really nicely. I'm doing the bottoms first because I think the bottoms are going to be what you see mostly when it's hanging from a kitchen wall. And I would actually want fewer, if there's any potential for drips. I would like to see less puddling on this side than on the top side. I'm going to flip it over now, and this stuff dries really quickly. Let that dry, and then I'll give them a nice, like a real fine sand, like just a light sand, just to get the tack rag threads and crap like that in there. All right, so I'm going to hit this with a 600 grit paper just to take the fuzz off. There's a lot of fuzz, and it up for the second coat to go on smoothly. Okay guys, I'm here the next morning, and here are where I am with these slabs. So this is monkey pod wood, or monkey pod I guess, from the monkey pod tree, which I just did a little quick research, which is also known as a rain tree, which is indigenous to Southeast Asia. How it ended up in western Florida, I have no idea. Really nice. The grains came out really nice. I used I put my first coat of poly on, and it really fuzzed up. So I hit it. I tried to use 600 grit, which was way too fine. I ended up using about a 260 grit paper. Cleaned up the first coat, and then applied about at least 3 if not 4 more coats on the slab of a water-based polyurethane. Here is the polyurethane, water-based, and I used clear with a satin finish. It really looks great. Well, hello, Candy.
Well, hello, C.
Bye-bye, Candy. All right, anyway, so it really came out. I'm real happy. Came out great. I'm really happy with it. I actually, sealed the back a little bit too. So the next thing I have to do is pretty much slice these in two, because they're going to be roughly 49-inch shelves, and there'll be 4 of them in 2 locations in the kitchen, and I will bring you along with me as I figure out how to mount them on the kitchen walls. That's where we are right now. Wish me luck as I cut these in 2 and hopefully don't tear them up. All right, so I will get my overall length. And this is not rocket science. It doesn't have to be exact to the 1/4 inch. I'm going to just split the difference from about the middle of the log. That'll give me a kind of a overall dimension. I'm pretty sure is halfway. Yeah, 49 7/8. And once again, it's not critical that this be perfectly straight. Part of the beauty of it is the randomness of it. And there's where we're gonna cut. I'll grind this down, make it look smooth, and we have a kitchen shelf. Put a little bit of more of the poly on these ends. Stuff dries so quickly, we'll be at the job site in a matter of an hour. All right, so we will use the 60 grit flapper wheel to do initial shaping, and we'll follow up with orbital. I mean, that was literally, what, 30 seconds worth of per board for sanding. I like that there's like little divots, and there's even some of these worms that got in here. They get in so deep. It's amazing. Look how deep those suckers go. So we'll clean this up, get the other board, we'll clean this up, and finish these ends with poly, and we'll be ready for installation. Okay, the first coat has dried. It's a little fuzzy. I will hit it with 320 grit paper and knock it down and hit it with a couple more coats, and we will be pretty much all done. Okay, that's it here. We are all cut, polyurethaned, and we're ready to go to the job site. Well, first got to go get some of the hardware, and then to the job site, and we'll show you how I install it. Okay, here we are on the job site, our little vacation rental to be, and here is the lumber ready to go up. Here is the mess of the condo as we prepare, and here's the kitchen that it will be going into. So I've put these lines roughly. I mean, they're not level. I just kind of threw them up there in the general area that these shelves are going to be hanging. And the next step is to try to make it happen. These ones should not be much of a problem because these they're actually 2x6 studs. This is a common wall between two units. So these are 2x6 studs. I think I'll be fine with picking up 2. It'd be awesome if I could pick up 3. And now this wall, on the other hand, is a masonry wall. And it is, if it was solid, it would not be a problem. But it is block. At least I believe it's block. And I'll try to pick up these are furring strip studs. So I'll try to pick up the stud first, just to kind of give it and add it a little bit of strength, and then we'll hammer drill through into the block. I'm kind of hoping it's solid block, because that way I can use my all thread. I am going to use, and I've seen this on many other YouTubes. I was looking for 14-inch lag screws, and I could not find them. So I'm going to use this all thread, drill it to the point where this thing actually threads itself into the wood. Going into the wood is going to be a no-brainer. That's going to be pretty easy. So I will start on the easy wall, and we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. All right, so here's where I am. I have made 4 10-inch pieces of all thread. Cut a little channel there to kind of act like a self-threading tap. Just gonna cut into wood. I've drilled 4 holes, 1/2 inch diameter, about 4 inches deep. This is 5/8, but I soaked it up. I'm going to use my impact driver, and hopefully it'll just zip right on in. I've got it marked at 4 inches, and it'll leave me about 6+ inches to hang the shelf on. So I think we'll be in good shape. Time will tell. Wish me luck. Well, that went in pretty easily. Holy shit, that's not going nowhere. We're gonna do that 4 more times, 3 more times. And I'll do some fine adjusting with a maul to make sure we got them square and perpendicular. I'm sure they're out of square a little bit. Actually, not horrific. Not too bad. Huh. What do you know about that? Excited. I'm putting the bottom one up first, but the reality of it is I should probably put the top one up first. Oh yeah. Okay, here's where we are. So we did the dimensions. We did kind of a rough fitment. That shelf up there is pretty darn level. The one, even though these pins are level, this one has enough of a warp where it goes down. So I'm going to drill these holes. This one's center. So this is 2 3/4. So this is 1 3/8, which is the center line for this board. This guy here, I'm taking it up 3/16 of an inch, which will raise this shelf up 3/16 of an inch. And I just bought a nice fresh 5/8 inch long shaft spade bit with this screw thing that kind of drags it in there. I'm going to do my best to make this square. We're shooting from the hip here. I've got it marked where the bottom of this is 6 1/4, which gives that the pins are a little more than 6 inches, so it should work out pretty good. So come along for the ride here. Let's see how we make out. All right, I'm scared, but it's gotta be done. All right, we got 2 holes drilled. Now it's time to fit it. Okay, this is gonna be real time. No fake test fits. Line up. Oh shit. Oh my gosh. Holy shit, that looks great. That looks good. Kind of, listen, it's a piece of live edge and it's a live slab, so it's going all over the place. And it's kind of level-ish. You know, the center's pretty damn level. Okay, here comes number 2. I'm super stoked with that. Super stoked. That is very slick. Kind of prettier, closer up. It's just because it's a freeform piece of lumber, but it's pretty damn square against the wall. A little bit up on this side, but anyway. I'm thrilled with that. Man, this should have been a 1 or 2 hour project hanging these things. It was quite a while. I had to go to Home Depot or to Lowe's and pick up some stuff. Now, tomorrow we will be tackling this guy, this block wall. I am going to be, it's a new frontier. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. But once again, these are purely decorative. I mean, they have a little functionality. We'll probably have a set of plates here and some coffee cups. I'll probably just have the decorations up there because it's kind of tough to reach. But anyway, very beachy, very pretty. Plenty of room underneath it here for a coffee bar or whatever. I'm pretty stoked. Okay, guys. Good morning. Another day, another project. These shelves went up really nice yesterday. I'm really thrilled with them. So this wall, this is a masonry wall. It would be great if it was solid masonry. I think it might be block, and I'm gonna have to figure out exactly how to anchor into it. But I've got my location as to where I am going to hang them. It is furred out. There are furring strips, and I think the furring strips on this wall are 16 on center. I think I'm only going to just go for 2 like I did on those. They were 24 on center because those are 2x6 studs, but they're really solid. So I'm going to try to do the same thing on here, and we will probe away. You'll come along for the ride, and you could do you could do this with just a normal level, but it is nice to have a fancy tool. Yeah. So I try to find the outside edges of the furring strip. I'm going to go 32 inches from there. All right, little show and tell here. Excuse my drawing. So here's a cinder block, okay? The cinder blocks, this is a cross section of the cinder block that this wall is built with. So a cinder block, you have a cavity here, a cavity here. This is the next block going over. In between each block, you're gonna have about, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch of mortar. So if I were to drill, and my shelf is going to be hanging, I'm going to be drilling into the block, okay? If I hit it on a web, I call this a web in the middle of the block, that could be good or bad. That could give me a lot of strength for the rod that's going into it. If I drill into the cinder block and it hit this cavity, the only thing that's going to be supporting my rod will be this web and the furring strip, okay? So I might have, I don't know, let's call this 1 1/4 inches and about 3/4. So, whatever, 2 inches. It may or may not be enough to support this rod, because this is a threaded rod. I'm going to be screwing it into there, and the rest of this is just going to be hanging in space inside the block. If they filled this area with concrete, sometimes they'll do a poured block foundation where they'll actually fill these voids with concrete, I'd be golden. I can hit concrete all the way in. So that's what we're about to discover. I'm gonna go through the where the furring strips are. I'm gonna drill through there just to get a little bit of, additional support with the wood. And then we're gonna have to hammer drill into the cinder block. Use my handy dandy Makita hammer drill with a 1/2-inch masonry bit. The good news is it felt pretty solid all the way through. Bad news would be if I went out the other side of the wall. And I didn't. So I don't know if you saw, I do a perpendicular cut. It makes it kind of like a little self-tapping edge to it. Hopefully it helps cut the threads into whatever you're screwing into. It worked really, really good for the wood. Let's see how it works out for the concrete or the block. That's fucking awesome. Alrighty, all four of these guys went in real well, and I've got this bottom shelf already in position. It is splayed down a little bit, and a lot of that is because of the warped log. I'm having a bitch of a time getting this back off. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bottle jack here and jack this thing up and just kind of bend that, carefully, precision bend the rod in the wall just to bring this edge up a little bit. I was able to pull this shelf off and bend this one up a little bit. That one sagged a bit. And the top one, I'm getting ready to put on right now. You can see how light these things are. Yikes. Yeah. A little bit of angle on that one too. I guess this one I think I can get off easy. I'm gonna bend that up a tad bit to bring this end up. Probably do it on both of them. All right. So this shelf I took off, tweaked them up a little bit. This shelf I could not get off, and I'm not gonna sit there and tear up the walls to get it off. Well, I'm glad that it won't come off easily, because you don't want things sliding off if somebody grabs something off the shelf. Anyway, I actually put a bottle jack, my automotive bottle jack, padded it with a bunch of padding and supported this little area here, jacked it up. So found a happy medium. This one is slightly slightly down. This side is slightly up. It's a piece of natural wood. It's just going to have twists and turns, but it is very cool. Really happy with the project. We'll have tchotchkes, that's a technical term, tchotchkes up top and some plates and stuff like that. This is a vacation rental, so it's not like people are going to be storing 6 months of canned goods. So anyway, another project with Carl Galler Builds, the station where you can count on things taking about 5 times longer than they should. But I'm discovering this stuff along with you. So anyway, this one worked out really well. Love to hear your comments. I'm sure there's a million different better ways to do this, from the finishing, the cutting, and the actual installation. Love to hear what you have to say. Drop a comment down below. Anyway, drop a comment down below. Still haven't figured out, all that other good stuff. And please like, share, subscribe. I'm going to try to get back on track and putting up some interesting content. So, without further ado, this is Carl Galler with Carl Galler Builds. I really appreciate you guys watching this to the end, and I am out.